right. Yes. Welcome. It is 7:03 p.m. I'm super psyched to be delivering this course to you guys. Well, one class out of the course. It's an introductory session. Today, we're focusing on these 7 tools to help you get past your inner critic. Uh, there's a voice of negative talk that psychology has identified that keeps us kind of stuck and in our own way. It keeps us bound. It causes all kinds of misery in our lives, from self doubt to shame, blaming other people. We'll talk about all of the effects of this voice of negative self talk. But before I do that, you guys, I sent you a homework assignment. Who did the homework assignment? Um, you can chat directly to me or put it to everybody in the chat, however you want to. Um, Within the homework assignment, I was asking you to put what you want for yourself in 2021. Um, if you can go ahead and just, if you want to share it, declare it, you can go ahead and do that. But if you want to keep it to yourself, it's totally okay to do that too. But it's important that we kind of write those things out. Let's see. Oh, no worries. If you missed it, I will be sure to share it. There's going to be an email. Um, Let me do a little bit of housekeeping. I will send an email to you with all the notes, everything that you've gotten here, and everything that you will go over. Don't feel like you have to write a whole bunch of copious notes. If you feel moved to take notes, then go ahead. But we're going to dive right in. There's so much information to cover. And if I'm talking too fast, go ahead and type straight to me in the panelists. I try to keep a good eye on the chat to me. So if you type it to everybody, I might not be able to see it as readily, but if it comes directly to me, there's a notification. So chat that directly to me and let me know, hey, can you go over that again? Or that was a little faster, if you need any clarity, okay? Thank you again for joining us. So let's jump right into these practical tools to silence your inner critic. So just a little bit about your host. I'm Krystal Paige. I'll be your instructor for the evening. For the most part, I help first generation American entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs get clear on their emotional and spiritual health so that they can build a life and a career of their dreams based on what comes out of their soul, what comes out of their intuition, what comes clearly and naturally for us, so that we can build those lives and careers based on confidence, clarity, and freedom. And also build an unshakable faith in your own intuition, so that when your gut is telling you something, you know to go with that gut. And that's what I specialize in. We call it the yak. You always know. So I help first generation entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs in that way. The name of my coaching practice is Krystal Paige Creative Wellness. And I'm super psyched to be bringing this course to you guys tonight. So a little bit about me. I am a Jamaican American from Miami, Florida. I am so passionate about creativity, wellness, and startup businesses. My background is originally from the performing arts. I went on to study media production. I went to performing arts high school and then went on to study media production in college, and then went on to get a master's degree in arts management. Ever since I've known myself, I've been involved in entrepreneurial activities. I mean, many of my family members are entrepreneurs with successful businesses. And I've been involved in my own business starting activities from very young. I was 8 years old when me and my childhood best friend at the time went and sold toilet paper and books to our neighbors. And that was, we did pretty well for ourselves. at that time. We found a niche market for toilet paper. And we decided we're going to also sell them books because they need something to read when they're on the can. Um, and what I love most besides entrepreneurship, startup businesses, creativity, and wellness, I really, really love helping others through encouragement and support. That's what I love to do most. So if there's two things that I am for sure, it's a coach. Number one, I think coaches are kind of like a certain type of people. And number two, an entrepreneur. And I think that entrepreneurs are kind of like born that way, with that entrepreneurial mindset. So that's a little bit about me. If you must know, I love watching videos, random videos of Beyonce in my spare time, that sort of stuff, Googling um, philosophy and quantum physics randomly at 2 o'clock in the morning just to know a little bit more about me. And within my certification set, I am a certified CIJ Clarity Catalyst, and I'll talk a little bit more about what that means. I am also an American Council on Exercise certified health and wellness coach. I'm an HR Institute certificate holder. I can go into any business or corporation and deliver, whether it's from the HR department top down, um, executive executive training and coaching leadership. I am also a certified Sure People consultant, where I go in with this modality called Sure People and help people get past their fears, doubts, and anything that's hindering their success in business. So with that, I also have to mention that I do philanthropic work in my mother island of Jamaica. I'm, a partner and executive director at what is called Cornerstone Jamaica, a phenomenal organization that does incredible work. We raise money in the US for programs that we build in Jamaica. We just finished a campaign to raise over $30,000 for tablets for children who need them in this new online learning era. We ended up purchasing a total of 500 tablets for 11 schools in rural Jamaica in response to the COVID-19 school closures, as everyone knows, from the entire world being impacted by this, and have been assisting kids with distance learning by putting high-speed internet connections in schools, and also helping kids understand the importance of cybersecurity and cyber safety while they're getting more digital and in that online environment. So that's the kind of work that I do. I'm also an executive at a 100-year family trust that includes a petroleum company and property management company. So I'm an executive. I get how busy adulting and managing a lot of roles can be. On top of my professional roles, I am also a wife and a mom. It's real life pictures of my baby licking my eyeball right here. Um, I really understand it and I get it. And that's something that my clients love about me and, respect about me, is that I'm not just, talking the talk, I'm walking the walk. I'm juggling many different things and understand how intense the pressure of life can be trying to juggle it all. So I've already explained that I'm a lady that understands stress and pressure from having a full life. But life is not always sunshine and lollipops, right? What we see on social media a lot of the times, people just show the sunniest parts of themselves. I've spent years from serial entrepreneurship. I have seen my bank accounts be completely depleted. I have seen a $100,000 business that I built myself go to flatline into near bankruptcy and then closure. There are these things that the despair and feeling of failure will do to you, um, to the point where you just feel like you just stop trying. You just completely stop trying. I have been rocked by death in the family. I have had, you know, situations in my life where I have had no income in sight, but still had all those expectations piled up on me. So I get very real I have a very real sense, a visceral experience of what anxiety, stress, um, stress to the point of indecision, chronic worry, chronic anxiety, and then to the point where you self sabotage, you're toxic in your relationships, and then to the next stage where it's causing misery and depression. And so, why I founded this company is because I've seen my share of confusing days, wondering like, how did I even get here in this job, in this relationship, in this business, in this company? And I wanted to create a way to help other busy adults, entrepreneurs, um, get from those stuck places into places of clarity and freedom, and to be walking boldly into those places and not get snagged on some of this stuff: stress, pressure, anxiety, doubt, shame, uh, and conflict. So while we all know what that's like, we all know what all of those words were on the last slide. We all know what those are like, right? Because it's a part of the human condition. But no one really teaches us, not in schools. I don't care how many degrees you have, you could be spotted and decorated like a leopard. They oftentimes in school do not teach us, even up to the doctorate level, how to sort through our own mental chatter, the expectations we put on ourselves, the expectations that others put on us. No one taught us of practical life skills that we can use daily to manage our thoughts, emotions, our aspirations, our time, our money, our relationships, and certainly not how to find our life's purpose or have unshakable faith, honey. They do not, I mean, that was nowhere to be found in any MBA program or management program, or it's not taught in our corporations. I mean, some of the things that we get taught are, you'll sleep when you die, or deal with it, suck it up. You have to have grit. There's so many books about that. Um, it all over the place. That's kind of what we glorify, even when we think about when we glorify success and things like that. We kind of don't bring a lot of importance to some of those soft skills, right? So, do you guys know what the key to health is? I was shocked to find this out in my health coaching certification program. I was shocked. The key to health is resilience. It's resilience. And the only way that we can really access resilience is through our mindset. But again, we're not taught in different modalities how to configure our minds for resilience. We're kind of taught to get to success or we're a failure. So I kind of want to stop here and tell you guys a little story about a young woman that, oh, really used to get on my nerves, quite frankly. Man, oh boy, Delilah. So back when I was a young, I had a production company at the time. I was a young producer, and I was working at a startup TV network in Miami. And there was an associate producer from southern Alabama, right out of Mobile. Um, Her name was Lila, short for Delilah. And Lila was one of the most chipper, sunny, nothing can get her down personas I've ever met in my life. And to give you a little bit about Delilah, there was one day that it was pouring down rain. And when I tell you, South Florida has the worst downpours of rain. Like the sky just opens up and then you're in the ocean. Like that level of downpour of rain. So I end up coming in from a shoot. And when I tell you I was soaked, I was sopped with water. My clothes, you could wring them out. They were so soft. I was heavy with water. My socks were soaked. My hair was, everything was drenched with water. I come into the office. I am miserable. I can't tell you, I was livid that I ended up out there. I was wet, I was cold, and I was miserable. So I go into the office and I'm expecting someone to take a little pity on me. I'm so upset. Do you know, I walk in, Delilah takes one look at me and she squeals with excitement. Oh my God. That's Delilah. Just give you a little bit. Oh my God. Like she would squeal. I didn't realize it was raining that hard. Oh my God. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm soaked. Like I'm so upset. I just got my hair done. You know, I'm complaining. I'm like dumping on her all my complaints. She doesn't listen to me for a second. She runs right over to the production closet and she says, oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I get to use my umbrella hat. I said, what? You're what now? This girl pulls out and a little monstrosity. It was like the most ridiculous thing I ever seen. It was a visor kind of device with like these spines and an umbrella coming out. And she is squealing. She is just so delighted that it's pouring down rain. And she continues, bolts out the door. She goes, oh my God, I even have my extra long raincoat. She puts on this ridiculous hat and this raincoat and she bolts for the door and is like, she's gone for the day. She doesn't even tell anybody, she's just gone. And squeals again on the way out and we could hear her, oh, look at how big these puddles are. Oh my God. Like she was so hyped. Y'all have no idea, this girl. She was so excited for the rain. And it just goes to show you a little bit about perspective. And let me tell you another story about Delilah. She was actually someone who had suffered from, there was a kind of like a strike in Miami where garbage truck operators were not going to certain areas. And she lived in one of those areas and they weren't picking up garbage. So from week to week, she would have all this garbage in her neighborhood. Delilah ended up collecting garbage from her neighbors. And she got a group of people around, some kids from the neighborhood, and they start sorting out the garbage. They start recycling and they put aside the plastics from the cardboard and they took the food bits and started a compost in the neighborhood. To this day, she was one of the most awarded composters. Like she ended up having compost and providing it to different urban gardens around Miami. So, I mean, even though I couldn't believe this young woman, I ended up admiring her and she ended up being one of the most pivotal people in my life because of her perspective. I started to get it. I was like, Delilah has something that we all need. She's got perspective. She knows how to transmute something that would otherwise be seen as bad and turn it into something that's a resource, something that's good, something that we can use. So I want to ask you guys today, how do you look at your crap? How do you look at it? Is it compost or is it trash? And, are they lemons or are they lemonade? And after one conversation I ended up having with her, she ended up saying, it was one of the most backwards thing I'd ever heard, but I loved it. She said, when you expect $1 and you only get 30 cents, you better go ahead and buy you some Tang. And I was like, what? At first, I was like, huh? She's like, but this is who my friend Lila is. But she has just such a smoking hot perspective on life, and she can transmute any situation into something good. And so that's our lesson today that we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on one of those lessons. But Dr. Wayne Dyer, who is a very well, God bless his soul, may he rest in peace, one of the most prolific philosophers that ever lived in our recent times. He said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that was definitely the Delilah superpower. So I just want to do a little bit of a connection between our thoughts and material reality. So there's something in quantum physics called the 0-point field. And I will try my best not to get too sciencey on you guys. But in the 0-point field, that is basically, you can think of, it is on a subatomic, way beyond the molecular level. It is where there are no more particles anymore. It's just where matter can materialize. And we all exist. You can think of it as kind of like a container that reality exists in. Everything else is matter, material molecules flying around. But the 0-point field is like the backdrop that all of this happens on. So basically, have you guys ever read The Secret? Have you guys ever read The Secret? Because The Secret talks about this. And it's basically the idea, thank you guys for the responses to the panelists. So in The Secret, it talks about how thoughts become things, and that basically everything in our reality starts with a thought. Well, quantum physicists have discovered that there is a 0-point field, and that our thought processes exist at the same temperature as the 0-point field, which means it's like infinitesimal. They're not even particles. It's so infinite. It's so small that we cannot even prescribe. There's no particle, there's no atom, there's nothing. So our thoughts are made of the same stuff as this 0-point field. So basically, if that's true, we are constantly creating the reality that we're in, the experiences that we're having. And I know that, the thought there is, if that's true, then why can't I think about $1 million and it just show up on my doorstep? Well, we have layers and layers of limiting beliefs that stop us from receiving those material things becoming real in reality. So, for example, let's say that you want a raise or a promotion, right? Who doesn't? If I believe I am unworthy of receiving it, I will never get it. Or let's say that you want to start a business and be profitable in that business. But if you truly deep down in your belief system believe that you are incompetent and incapable, then you're probably unlikely to take the action steps that you would need to take to get to that goal. And furthermore, if you were to meet with a challenge, you would more than likely accept that as your fate rather than pushing past that challenge. So if I have a limiting belief that I am incompetent, unworthy, all of those things, if I get a no at my first, brick wall of frustration, or if someone tells me no, then I'm just going to give up and say, well, yeah, I know because I'm incompetent and they must know, they must be able to see it, or I'm not able to do it anyway. You know what I mean? Are you guys following me? You can definitely let me know if you're following me here, because I can explain it a couple different ways. But depending on where you guys are at, you probably are smoking hot and get this stuff already. So it's really important for us to remove those limiting belief systems. And this is why this course was created. It was created by a man named Dr. Michael Ray at Stanford University. And thank you guys for letting me know in the chat. Thank you, thank you. It was created by Dr. Michael Ray at Stanford University, and he created this course to help his linear thinking MBA students start getting in touch with their inner reality and their inner creativity, so they can remove their limiting beliefs and have trust in their own abilities, and not just focus on their check boxes of things that they must accomplish. Not thinking like a robot. Like sometimes we kind of get robotic in our thinking. So this was just kind of a way for us to be able to get in touch. And it takes a lot. It's a whole entire process. But if we can engage in some of these activities, it can completely transform your life. So a little bit more about this class. It was founded at Stanford. It was called the most transformational course given at Stanford University. And basically the long and short of it was that every self-help book paradigm is basically based off of the practices in this course. From every self-help book you can think of, from Good to Great to the 21 characteristics of a great leader, to Napoleon Hill, How to Win Friends and how to influence people, how to win friends and influence people. Also, money attraction, the law of attraction, the law of seduction. So many of these different books they're basically templated and based off of so many of these tools that are offered in this class. But the difference is with this is that you would get accountability, and you would be able to go through this with other people in the course, keeping you accountable. And there's so much power in group work when we do this work together. So how the course goes is that we focus on 4 tools: having faith in your creativity, removing the judgment. We are so judgmental and critical of other people and mostly of ourselves, but removing that veil of judgment so that we can operate without completely being absorbed in judgment all the time. In this course, we give the different tools to dissolve that judge and critical, that judge and critical factor in our minds. We also learn neutral observation, not to be so attached to every outcome. And we also foster our creativity. Every single human being on the earth is a creative being. And we help people understand their creativity and trust their creativity and their intuition, which is so powerful. When you can really trust it, you start to materialize your reality in a powerful way, and not be blocked with self-doubt, shame, pain, stress, anxiety. You would get like any roadblocks or challenges that come your way. It's just a whole temporary challenge. It doesn't mean that you're defeated. It doesn't mean that this isn't going to go your way. It just is a temporary roadblock. So the class teaches us how to apply those 4 tools to the 6 challenges, which is finding our purpose and vision, managing our time and our stress, better handling our relationships, and finding a balance in life. Then we integrate all of those pieces in order to really trust in our journey to prosperity and self-worth, they're hand in hand, actually. When you really believe in your self-worth and how you're showing up, prosperity just happens. Things will just come to you, opportunities will come to you, and you're able to give a little value in exchange for a little bit of money. And being able to fully share your creativity with the world without self-doubt, without shame, without any of those yucky feelings that get in our way. So, are you guys ready? I'm so excited. I'm so excited for us to dive right in. So, thank you. Thank you for letting me know you're ready in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, let's get started. The first tool that we are going to talk about today is mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply paying attention. I know that sounds super simple. It's like, why read Deepak Chopra or watch Oprah Super Soul Sundays if it's that easy, Krystal? But definitions are best when we can break them down to the most simple parts. Paying attention. So right now, I have a white curtain in front of me. That white curtain didn't matter because I'm paying attention to this webinar until I put my attention on the white curtain. I am paying attention to the background behind me. I didn't care about the background before, but once I put my attention onto the background, it becomes more pronounced. So the art of paying attention is bringing something into your focus. So we can zoom right into something and it becomes more detailed. So with mindfulness, I'm going to teach you guys a trick and we're going to do the exercise right now so that I can just show you better than tell you. So I want you, wherever you are, I want you to take a moment and look about the room that you're in right now. And I want you to dart your eyes from object to object, from thing to thing. Look at the wall. Look at the pictures. Look at the door. Look at where the light is coming from in the room. Are there windows? Where's the window? Look at the window pane. Look at the sockets. Look at the electronics, if you have any, the desk, the chair, the table, what furniture. Just look around, and before you hold on too much or too long, shift your gaze to the next thing and just look around. Next, I want you to engage your sense of hearing. And I want you to listen with your left ear and then your right. I want you to listen for any humming in the room. What do you hear? Do you hear the air conditioner? Is there a fan? Is there a light buzzing? Do you hear the computer modem? What do you hear? Next, I want you to take a nice big breath into your nose, and I want you to engage your sense of smell and really try to see what you can smell. Maybe dinner's cooking. Maybe there's some baby lotion in the air for the moms. Maybe there's cinnamon. Is there a candle? Maybe it's just crisp, clean air. What do you smell? Now I want you to shift your attention to your sense of taste. And I want you to run your tongue along the backside of your teeth And I want you to engage your sense of taste. What do you taste? Now, while we're there, feeling the sensation of taste in our mouths, I want you to switch to the sensation of touch and feel. Feel your body being held by the chair you're in, if you're sitting, or the bed you're on. Feel your feet in your socks or sandals. Maybe there's a carpet. Wiggle your toes. Just feel how your clothes feel sitting on top of your skin. And just be present with that. What do you feel? Now come back to us, and I want to ask you a question. What were you thinking about? And I'll give you the answer. It was nothing. You cannot think, actively hold thoughts while you're engaging your five senses. The part of your brain that is sensing and taking in a sensory experience, that part of your brain cannot engage in, especially incessant thinking. It can't engage in thinking while you're experiencing your five senses and taking in that information. What you're doing is you're taking in information. What happens a lot of times in life is that we've disassociated ourselves with the power of paying attention, with activating our five senses, with really giving it our all. Like even in that exercise, when was the last time you really engaged your five senses, really listened, really tasted, really just smelled to see what you could smell? So when we do that, we're being mindful. So one thing that we can do to help us kind of be more mindful is set a timer. You can set an alarm or set a timer in your phone, or an alert rather. You set an alert in your phone and you have it say 5 cents check-in, 5 senses check-in. And you do that 5 senses check-in. Or you tell yourself to be here now. Or you say, be mindful. And you just do that 5 senses check-in. Call it whatever you want. You can call your alert whatever you want, as long as you remember to do this exercise and to check in with the moment. And even if you're busy, what you can do is just see whether or not you are being worried. If you are worrying or regretting, worrying usually means you're worrying about the future, and regretting usually means you're regretting the past. So you can use this tool in any moment to kind of just check in with what your mind is on, so that you're not back to the 0 point feel in us creating our reality, so that you're not creating more experiences that will bring you anxiety, that will bring you grief and doubt and self-doubt. You would end up, if you're not mindful, you create more of these emotions for yourself. You create more of this in our lives. We attract it to ourselves. So this can be really, really powerful in order to help us get clear. So that's mindfulness 101 for you guys. Stop and pay close attention to where your mind is. Just do it twice a day and see what happens. The next one is meditation. So meditation, I try to break down meditation as simple as possible. You don't have to be a Buddhist monk, a Shah person in the rainforest, or any of these things to meditate. You don't have to be super spiritual. You don't have to be super religious. All it is is creating rest from your overthinking monkey mind. Your mind is like a pack of ravenous wolves just running in every direction. I mean, it's crazy, especially in this time, in this era where we're constantly inundated with information and notifications, just constantly. So, putting a space between your thoughts is so important. Just being able to make time for you to make space between your thoughts. You turn your brain off. And the best way you can do this is just take 2 minutes per day. You can even start with 1 minute a day, honestly, and then stretch it to two. 1 minute a day where your phone is not going off. Get your phone, you can set a timer for the time that you will be away from your phone, but put it away from you. Get it away from you if you can. Get away from the computer, get away from everything if you can. You can take a moment. I like to tell clients, especially when they're starting, to create a little bit of a meditation station if you can, where this is your designated meditation chair. You're going to sit down in this chair and you know that you're going to take your 2 minutes to just try your best not to think. You can sit and use a mantra. One of my favorite mantras right now is rise and fall. On the in breath, I say rise and watch my tummy. You can feel my tummy go up and out as the diaphragm expands, and fall as the diaphragm collapses. And with that, what happens is you're not thinking intently about whatever you had for lunch or what you want to eat for dinner or what your kid is doing or, anything like that. You start to just focus on your breath. And the breath and also heartbeat can be some of the easiest accesses to getting in between those thoughts. And I say in between thoughts because it's really difficult to stop thinking. I think it's a muscle. It's like taking your mind to the brain gym. It's a muscle we have to flex and to practice until we get stronger. Until that, you go from in 1 minute you might have 100 thoughts to the point where in 1 minute you had 10 thoughts. Well, that's because you're getting stronger. So we want to create that strength. We want to create that stretch between thoughts, right? And that's how we can do it. Another meditation tip for you is you can go, there's several free meditation tools. Deepak Chopra right now, I think it's chopracenter.org and deepak.com. They're running a free 21-day meditation. It's a free 21-day meditation challenge where basically you can meditate with them for free. They provide the tools and it's really great for beginners. So if you want to do that, you can do that. You can also, there's so many apps and things that you can get now to help you kind of be your training wheels if you're not accustomed to meditation. But it's such a powerful practice to kind of put distance between your thoughts. It also helps you not be reactive if you're a reactive kind of person. Next foundation tool is journaling. So this is where you can basically declutter your mind by dumping whatever is on your mind, whatever's bothering you, into a journal. Actually, how many inventors, they do this practice where the first thing they wake up, they go and start journaling. The first thoughts that come out of their mind for 5 minutes per day. What you can do is the first thing when you wake up, start journaling so that your mind you can just dump out all of that stuff that's in your mind. You can take an opportunity to just dump it all out. That way you can get into a space of clarity because your paper can worry about it. Your journal can worry about it. All those concerns are in your journal. And if you want to refer back to them, you can, but you don't have to keep it up here. You can keep it safe in your journal. Journaling is where you can clear the clutter of your mind and just brain dump word vomit onto the page, and you can turn this can end up being a to-do list, or this can end up being where your clarity flows out of you. This could be the name of your book can come out of this practice. But it's so good to do this. And there was a pastor that said this once, that, you know, we could be writing every single day. If we don't write every single day, who's documenting our lives? Who's taking down the story of our life? And it's so good. If you could at least just write something every day, you can always refer back to that and see where your mind was on that day. So journaling is excellent. One of my favorite tools ever, the Wheel of Life tool. So ladies, I'm going to send you this also in your follow-up email with your homework. You do have more homework. We call it soul work, but you will get an email from me with this. But right now, if you can just draw a circle, draw a circle. If you have a piece of paper, you can draw a circle if you want to do this exercise. Or you can just take note of the exercise and you can do it for yourself later. It's a super easy exercise. So what we're going to do is, this Wheel of Life chart represents the 8 compartments or categories of our lives that usually bring life satisfaction. So those are health, living space, family, finances, career, spirituality, recreation, and romance. We can also change romance to self-love. A lot of romance really stems from self-love. So when we go into this Wheel of Life, I want you to rate each of these categories for you at either a 0 or to 10, anywhere in between. You're going to rate it from 0 to 10. 10 being the most ideal, you are blissed out, the best situation you could fathom, and 0 being nothing is going on. We are dismal. Nothing is going on. And I need extreme improvement. There is nothing going on in this department. I need to create this department. It doesn't exist. So with our health department, health includes not only working out, not only eating well, but how often have you been to the doctor? You know, do you need to get a checkup? Health can be mental health. Are you taking, if you're prescribed medication, do you take your medication regularly? Health can be whether or not, are you experiencing depression? Are you, you know, health can be a number of things. It can be whether or not we need to start working out. Maybe it's been a while since we've done some sort of workout. It can be nutrition or medical oriented. So you're going to rate yourself on health. Then we're going to move on to your living space. How is your living space right now? Do you love where you live? Do you feel comfortable there? Are you happy with where you are? Do you like, you know, the feel of it? Does it feel optimal to you? Where are you with your living space? Then we're going to rate our family. How are we with our family relationships? Are we keeping in contact with our family, our loved ones? Do we feel a sense of togetherness with our family? Are we calling our grandparents? You know, are we, those sorts of things. The connection with our family is usually what we're talking about. Finances, what is our financial health like? Our debt, our debt to asset ratio, are we in debt? How are we with paying down debt? Are we earning as much money as we need to? Where are we with our finances, our financial health? Insurance, do we need to potentially protect ourselves in different ways? Businesses, are businesses in good financial standing? Career, the career is more of a big picture, long, the kind of the long term goal of our life's work. How are we on our career? Are we working on our career? Are we working in the field that we want to be working on? If we are in the field that we want to be working on, are we making strides toward where we want to be? Where we'd rate ourselves on career. as far as spirituality, that can be anything that makes you feel small compared to the largeness and the bigness of life. So if spending time in nature is your form of spirituality, then that. If religion is your form of spirituality and engage in religious practices, then maybe that's your spiritual practice. Spiritual practice can be anything that makes you feel connected to something bigger than you. So you're going to rate your spirituality. Then you're going to rate your recreation, how much time you spend just having a good time, having fun. Anything that's just for leisure, just for you and your enjoyment. That could be vacations, that can be just hanging out with friends, getting a pizza, um, enjoying just time with yourself and others. Romance and self-love. How are we in our romance or self-love department? Romance can be whether you have a partner, are you engaging, are you spending time with each other, are you feeling that juicy, yummy love? And for self-love, are you spending time with yourself? Are you engaging in self-care practices, and do you foster a sense of enjoyment when you spend time with yourself? Are you taking that time for yourself and cultivating self-love? So I'll also be sending you a recording of this if you want to get back to this point in the video and do this exercise once you have it to print out. But this is such a powerful exercise. And what we do is we'll date this and you'll be able to come back to it and refer to it once you work on it. So how it usually works is, let's say that you have like 8 to 7 in every other department except for romance, finances, and career. If whatever your bottom 3 categories are, those are the first 3 we're going to tackle. So just right now, if some of you guys could just chat to me or to everyone, just let me know what your bottom 3 are, just off of this, me going through what the exercise means. If you have your bottom 3, those are the ones that are rated the lowest. Those would be the ones that we're going to work with in the remaining parts of the exercise. So just let me know what they are. Thank you. Thank you. So I have a couple. Those are just to me. And that's fine. We can keep it, hey, we can, yes, we can just let each other know. Okay. Oh, we got another one. Okay, so what we're going to be doing then is we're going to, okay, thank you guys. All right, so we're getting a lot of finances, romance, and recreation, health, health, living space. Living space that's my favorite one to improve. So, all right, we got a couple in the chat. Thank you guys. So I want all of you guys to think about your 3 that you're working on. Keep those in mind. Now, you can't solve a problem with the mind that created it. This is why we have to do those practices of journaling, meditation, and mindfulness to change our minds so that we can tackle these problems. So once we're in that practice, we're more able, more primed to go ahead and make these changes, whatever it is that we need to create transformation in those departments. So, hold on, wait. Okay, so one of my favorite things that we're gonna do is intention cards, where we basically connect ourselves to the feeling associated with our breakthrough. So the feeling associated with whatever your breakthrough is, and I actually have a couple intention cards right here. So one of my intention cards says, I feel free now that I have overcome fear. So do you see how the formula goes? It's like, I feel blank that I am blank now that I am blank. Or here's another. I feel brimming with joy now that I'm 100% debt free. Love that one. Love it. And you really got to feel it. Whatever is going to be in the first blank, you've really got to feel it. I mean, whatever words you have to string together to get your feelings going, do that. I feel love and admiration now that I respect and believe in myself as a professional coach. I actually, what happens with these is when we achieve this in class or after class, we put a victory on that. And so there's a victory on this one. I really do. I really, after saying this since April 2019, I actually feel love and admiration and respect myself as a coach. Another one that resonates, I feel empowered now that I'm making measurable impacts and improving my professional performance. This one I actually share with executives that I work with. So it's getting in touch with that feeling. So for example, how would you feel, Brianna? You were the first one to put it in the chat to everybody. So how would you feel if you did whatever steps you needed to take to have growth in your finances? So whatever that is for you. For me, it's being debt free. I feel and connect with the feeling, whether it's ecstatic. Oh my gosh, what was the most recent one I got? I feel like twerking. That was, but that really worked for, the young lady that was doing that worked for her. Like when she feels like twerking, she's super happy. So whatever works for you. I feel free that I am now debt free. Beautiful. So you ladies see the power in just even connecting with that intention. I have one. I want to see where my victory one is. I love that one, Brianna. That's beautiful. I can't find my I have my victory stack somewhere else. But I had one that said, I feel overwhelmed with love now that I am married to my spiritual partner. And I am married now to my spiritual partner. So when you achieve it, you put a big fat V on the back of it, and you read these every day. It just does something to ground you and kind of keep you in check with what it is you're trying to achieve in your life. So guys, we're gonna do these intention cards for homework. Do them for your bottom three, and then you're gonna also do them for whatever else you want to accomplish in your life, whatever those other goals are. So remember, you're going to do these intention cards and apply them. The first three are going to be towards your lowest rated three categories on your wheel of life. Okay, so whenever I ask this question, who's stopping you? What is in your way? When we're talking about your wildest dreams, getting to your wildest dreams, like what is it that you're really here for? What things are you after in your life? What is stopping you? Many of the times, and I will help you guys out for the sake of time, many of the times the answer is me. I'm in my own way. the answer number one is me. I'm stopping myself. And number two, I'm in my own way. It's me. It's all me. But what I want to share with you guys is that it's not you. It is your inner critic, what we came here to talk about. So all of those practices, those 5 practices that I just shared with you guys, those are basically lining you up to do this work, getting rid of your inner critic. That's your itty bitty pity committee. This is the thing that is saying to you that you're too young, you're too old, you're too this, you're too that. You don't have the talent, you don't have the skill, you don't have the drive, you're lazy, I mean, it comes up with so many different things. And basically, this voice of negative self talk came from a place to protect us when we were young. Like, for example, if you, I mean, everybody knows a 3-year-old, right? 3-year-olds are some of the most fully expressed beings on the planet. They will sing to you all day their favorite song. They will tell you about their favorite color, what their favorite, clothes are. They're wearing some crazy spandex, polka dot, rain boots. Like 3-year-olds go for it. And then something happens right around 4 or 5. They go to school, and someone says they don't like your crazy rainbow polka dots. They don't like your voice. Don't sing. Somewhere along the line, someone says something, and it kind of makes that child shrink themselves and try to fit in, as opposed to being as authentic as they can. That same inner critic is what causes those inner voices. It arrests us and keeps us from being our most authentic creative selves. So, what I want us to do is to disconnect from the idea that it's you stopping you. It's not you. It's a mechanism in your mind called the inner critic, or the voice of negative self talk. And what I want us to do is draw this voice. What does it look like? Draw it out. What does it say? And hang it up. And for some people, different things will come out. I have quite a few of these characters now, because there's one that's cynical Cindy. There's one that's bitchy, that's bitchy McGee. There's one that's super judgmental. That's judgy. That's Judy, Judy the judge. Not to be confused with the famed Judge Judy. But these things basically materialize within our psyches, and they keep us safe. They keep us from playing outside of our comfort zone. Another thing that they do is that they criticize and judge others. And then we end up in situations where we kind of can be kind of nasty to ourselves and to others if we're not keeping it in check. So this can be really, really powerful stuff. Again, I'm going to email this to you guys, but this is really, really powerful stuff for us to be able to identify and define our inner critic, so that we separate it from ourselves. And I want us to actually, I'm going to take a second. I know we're running down on our time, but I want to take a second to talk about how we can actually continue with the fear and with the doubt and with all of those things that come along with this voice of the inner critic. All it is we're going to associate, now that we know that it's separate from us, we can associate ourselves with our true authenticity, with our true creativity, and allow that inner voice to be in the back seat. We can still bring it with us. It will always be with us, but we can continue to thrive and go forward with that authenticity rather than being blocked and stopped by that voice. I hope that is clear for you, ladies. Now, with all of that that's being said, let me know if we're good. We're good on our inner critic. Everybody's good on the inner critic. We're okay. We're rocking and rolling. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Um, okay, perfect. So, what are we waiting for? Now that we've gone through all of that, what are we waiting for? So, if you are waiting for perfection, if you are waiting for the perfect time, the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, all that, that is just your inner critic trying to keep you safe again. If you're waiting for permission from someone, um, then that is again the inner critic. It camouflages itself sometimes. So I just want you guys to start to be aware of some of this stuff where it shows up, and it's you. It's your inner critic keeping you safe. So waiting for permission from someone, waiting for someone to change, or waiting for the right person to come along, or that could be romantic or business partner or assistant, or waiting for someone, like someone's going to save you. Um, Waiting for kids to leave home, or waiting for someone to discover you. For some of our actresses that are waiting, or artists that are waiting for someone to discover, or waiting for the absence of risk. Risk will always be there. Or this is so good, waiting for a clear set of instructions. For all of the entrepreneurs out there who are waiting for just this magical list of every single step that you need to take to get to success. No, we don't have to wait for that. We don't have to wait for that anymore. So, procrastination is the habitual manifestation of fear. That's from me. That's from me. That's my quote. I got a quote now, y'all. I got to put it on a shirt. So, but it is really and truly. We procrastinate so many times because we just are trying to come up with any excuse just to give ourselves more safety and more comfort. Thank you so much. One of you guys said the inner critic is going down. That is right. That is right. We've got to get to that place where we're so aware of it, we identify it, and then, hey, it's fine to be there, but we're going to move on anyway and go in that spirit of authenticity and creativity. So, this is one of our favorite quotes that I love in this class. Fearlessness is not the absence of fear, but the presence of bravery. And it's so true. Just us showing up and being brave and blowing past that fear. Even if we're afraid, we just got to do it anyway. So, our goal number 7 is our goal setting tool. With our goal setting tool, we're going to think of what, how, and by when. That W stands for what. So when you get this, you can write this into your sheet, but it's what, how, and by when. Or you can just take note of it. But so for example, all right, I'll use the example in the chat. Bree, when you're free, when you're feeling free because you're debt free, let's say you achieve debt free, what would make you achieve being debt free? So we got to break that down into chunks. All right, so the what is being debt free. How? Pay down a loan or credit cards. And by when? So we're going to create a system for that. Like, I know that for me, my debt free goal when we're talking about student loans is over the next 7 years. So in that time, I will be debt free. But if we're talking about credit cards, for example, that could be in 6 months. So, what is it? We got to define the what, get very specific about it, how we're going to do it, and by when. When are we going to do this, and chunk it out? So, I have a bonus for you guys. I think I will actually have time to do it. Let's see. I might have time to do it with you guys here. This is great. So what we're gonna do is I'm actually going to you know what? Let me see. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do it. Are you guys still seeing the slides there? Okay, great. What I wanna do is get us ready to do a bit of a meditation. If you wanna get up and get a drink of water or anything like that, that's fine. We're gonna do something called the Future Self Meditation, and it is phenomenal. I'm so glad that we have time to do it. I'm also gonna send a recording of it, but I think it's just best if we can just do it together. So let me cue up the sound and make sure that everyone can hear. I'm actually gonna stop sharing for now and make sure that, oh, so that you guys, and you're gonna let me know if you can hear this. Okay, show in meeting options to enable original sound. Okay, are you guys able to hear this? Let me know if you can hear what I'm playing for you, because it should be optimized. Okay, hold on one second. Are you guys hearing that? Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Is it loud and clear? Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Imagine that you're walking along a beautiful riverbank, and it is a perfect day. The birds are singing, and you can feel the warmth of the sun on your face. And you feel safe, and all is well. As you walk along, you suddenly see a boat driven by a friendly captain. A captain that pulls the boat along the shore and invites you in. Now you begin to sail down the river, but you notice that this is a different kind of river. This is the river of time. 5 years pass, 10 years pass, 15 years pass, 20 years pass. And the friendly captain pulls the boat along the riverbank and helps you out. And he points you to the place where you live 20 years from now. Where are you? Is it a city street? A country road? In the mountains? The beach, or another country? This is yours. Paint it in. You see the house. You knock on the door, and your future self answers. Look into that person's eyes. Those are your eyes. Look at that person's smile. Notice what your future self is wearing, including the jewelry, the clothes, even the shoes. Your future self brings you into one of the rooms in the home, and you've created all of this. Look at the colors, the texture, the fabrics. She returns from the room. She asks you to sit down and gives you a box. It's a gift. What has she given you? What has she given you? Ask your future self if there's any significance to this gift, and allow her to whisper the answer in your ear. Now your future self looks you deeply in the eyes and asks, what do you want to know? Ask your future self any question in your heart. Ask for wisdom or insight about your next steps on this journey. And before you leave, ask your future self if there's one more thing he or she needs to tell you, or if there's something important that you need to know. It's time to go. Your future self walks you to the door, and before you leave, is there a name I can call you when I come to visit, a name other than my own? Let your future self whisper this name in your ear. Give this person a hug and say that you will return. Your future self thanks you and says to come back anytime. Now you make your way back to the river where the friendly captain is waiting. You board the boat and you're overwhelmed with what you just learned. What does that gift mean? What about what they said? Did I just see my future self? And as you go on this river, you're almost overwhelmed with that experience that you just had. And you're going through the river of time, and you're trying to hold on to all that you can from that experience. And you go back through the river of time, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. You can barely believe the experience that you just had. Now the boat captain tells you that you're going to be okay. Pulls over to the shore and helps you off. You nod to the friendly captain and thank him for this experience. You walk along the bank and into a field that is so beautiful. And you lie down and think about how you just met your future self. You close your eyes and feel overwhelming love. Now you can open your eyes or come back to us. That usually is a very overwhelming experience. And if you can write down what it was that came to your mind in that meditation, the gift that was given to you, what it was that your future self told you, what that practice is an access into your subconscious mind. So the things that come up, they're usually it's our access into the dream world of our mind. Those things that come up are usually subliminal things that we otherwise wouldn't talk to ourselves or tell ourselves. But through that exercise, we're able to really be able to get in touch with our subconscious and see what our subconscious mind has for us. So it's a really powerful experience, and I'm hoping that you guys loved it. I am not sure how to get this back into, there we go. All right. You guys let me know how this was for you. I hope it was great. I'm gonna let me know in the chat how you felt, how your future self experience in that meditation was. Thank you guys for being patient with me as I figured out the audio there. And I also just want you guys to know that I have bookings that are right now 50% off for the entire month of March. And to each of you ladies who have been here through this entire webinar, I am still extending that to you. Anybody, for all of the ladies that were here with us in the webinar, you will still receive 50% for the duration of April. So please, 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 if you can make a booking, you can book a 15-minute clarity call to start if you just want to test out just even talking through what came up with your future self meditation. Thank you guys for sharing with me how many, experiences you're having with your future self. Is phenomenal. It really is just such an incredible exercise. So I'm glad that you guys got a lot from it. If you go to crystalpaige.com, you can definitely find a wealth of information, and that's where you can connect with me to book a session, and we can go through several. I've given you guys 8 free tools tonight, but I have 60 more. So within our sessions, we'd be able to go through the rest of the tools. And we also have a class that is opening up. So if you're interested in the class, you can apply for it on the website. And just wanted to give you guys my contact. I'm going to drop this in the chat. Feel free to let me know how you felt. Drop me an email. And I'm just so grateful that all you ladies have joined me. And I'm just so glad that it was transformative and inspirational, motivational, and that you got so much from it. Thank you guys so much again. Have a wonderful evening. And again, I'm here at crystalpaige.com, and you can always check in with me, book with me, or join a class. Thank you guys.